Guys, this is S4 here, back again with the new video for you guys, and today I am doing a joint review on the Dragon Stars JIREN. I'm doing a collab review with Spike Reviews, and we've never done this before. It's going to be our first time doing it, but I am excited to get 2 point of views on this awesome figure. So without further ado, let me give my opinion and my review on this guy. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to look at for JIREN is the box, of course. Like I said in my Golden FRIEZA review, the boxes are pretty cool because they're just very simple and very clean. And I like the simple look of it. So again, Bandai in the left corner, ages 4 and up. Warnings on the other corner, it says Dragon Ball Super on the top. Then we see through the window the piece for the Build-A-Figure, which is Kale. And that Kale head looks amazing. I'm going to get a close look at it later on. Very nice. And 2 of JIREN's hands that you can switch it with. I love how they have Build-A-Figures for this series because you get a free figure with the purchase of all the other figures in this series of Dragon Stars, which is the Kale figure for this one. So on the bottom it says Dragon Stars and it says JIREN. Now let's take a look at the other side. Alright, so on the spine here it says Dragon Ball Super, JIREN. Picture of JIREN right there, very nice. Love it. I love how they just have, you know, like a picture of the character from the anime on the side. It is a nice touch to it, to be honest. Here is the back of the box. There's Dragon Ball Super. Of course, Dragon Star is the same thing. It says Series 5. And the other figures, which is Super Saiyan Vegito, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito. We got Super Saiyan Kaba, and we have JIREN. I must say that the Super Saiyan Blue Vegito on the back looks a lot nicer than the one that we actually got, to be honest with you. I know we're not reviewing Vegito, but I have to make that comment because I really noticed it. Okay, so then it says collect all 6. And as you can see, it says that you will get Super Saiyan Kale if you have all 6 of them. I love that. I love that they did this, and that figure is pretty badass. So we got the other figures as well: JIREN, Kaba, Vegito, Super Saiyan Kaioken times 10 Goku, Mystic Gohan, and Golden FRIEZA. And some warnings and all that. Of course, copyright stuff. Nothing really on this spine of the box, just blank except for it says JIREN and it says Dragon Ball Super. I know I didn't take a look at the top of the Golden FRIEZA box because I knew there was nothing really on top, but I will show you it in this video. It just says Dragon Stars. I also didn't show the bottom of the Golden FRIEZA box because I knew all it says is Dragon Ball Super, just like in this JIREN. So now, without further ado, let's check out the figure itself. Alright, and here's our boy JIREN outside the box. Hey! He looks awesome. I am a JIREN fan. I know a lot of people don't like JIREN, but I like him a lot. People think his design is very basic and very, like, kind of lame and boring. I like it. I've always liked it, honestly. Something about just a simple buff alien look. I don't know. I really enjoy it, but anyways, let's take a closer look at the figure to see more detail on him. Here's a little bit of a closer look. I like this figure. This figure is not as cool per se as the Golden FRIEZA, but there's a reason to that. I would say that JIREN is just, like I said, a more simple design. So the figure itself is just going to be more simple as far as paint job and everything and details, because he is just, his character himself doesn't have too much details. You know, there's not like an awesome coat of paint, you know, like Frieza had because he's golden and shiny. He is definitely shiny because of the figure on its own, but, you know, it's not because of the paint job. But it still looks nice for what it is, you know? And even though his details are simple, they did a good job with the paint job and the details that he does have, you know what I mean? So we take a look at that, his legs. Buff JIREN. Here's a closer look at his face. Yeah, you know, not too much details to him because of JIREN just not having too many details in general, but he looks good. He looks like himself. He looks like the character. see the way they did his muscles, his abs looks great. I like it. It all looks good to me. So now let's take a look at the back of him. There he is from behind. See all the muscles, because he is ripped. You know, Jiren's ripped. Look at that booty. Okay, Jiren got a little booty. I didn't even know about that. You know, the troopers all have tight, like, spandex kind of clothing, so it makes sense that his booty's popping. Now let's take a look at his articulation. Alright, so the articulation. Let's start with the head. His head moves 360. Moves up and down. There's a joint right there. His arm moves outward, inward, 360. Very good. I like when they have articulation points like this. There's more to do, more to pose. He bends at the elbow right here. He does not, oh, he moves 360 here as well in this joint. I believe the Golden Frieza also moved at that joint. I'm sorry if I didn't mention that, but it looks like he does. That's really cool. I like that. It moves here too. And his wrist moves 360 as well. And it has like a ball joint there, so it's going to move in different directions. Also, his waist, 360. His legs move outward, inward like this. You know, it's the same on both sides, of course. And yeah, it moves around, 360 there. Bends at the knee, just like that. His ankles move 360. And there's also like a ball joint here, so he can point his foot in different directions. And that's about it for the Jiren. I don't think I missed any points. I think that's it. A lot of poseability to him, which I like with the Dragon Stars. There's a lot to do with them because of that. One complaint I have, and I think this is a given with pretty much all the Dragon Stars, if not most, that they are very loose at the joints. You see that? Look how loose. You can even see it right here. He's just loose, you know? And like it's just so easy for him to like slip down and like not be able to stand upright because of it. You know, the Frieza had the same problem. There we go. Okay, he looks pretty cool in this pose. But that's the only thing. Some of the limbs are just very loose, particularly the legs. I feel like the legs have that problem. And as you can see, there's like a weird thing going on right here with the legs. I don't know why it does that. Maybe because these can pop off real easy. Like here, it can pop off. And also the arms, I believe, can pop off. So that's, you know, the only real big complaint I have for these. So now let's take a look at the hands that he comes with. It's very easy to remove the hands, by the way. All you gotta do, like I said in the other review, is pop them off, and there you go. Pop them on, off. First, I wanted to take a look at the kill head that comes with this figure to do the Build-A-Figure, and I think it's really nicely done. It's very detailed, and it looks really good. You know, you can see how great this figure is once you have all of the pieces to make Kale. You know, look at the hair. It looks real nice, very beautiful. So she's a badass figure, that's for sure. It's worth collecting the other figures in the series just to get this one. Like I said, you pretty much are getting a figure free once you buy all the other ones in the set. Right, guys, so here is one of the hands. One thing I just want to point out, I noticed that the hands have fingernails, and it shouldn't, because Jiren has a glove on, and you shouldn't be able to see fingernails with a glove on. Makes no sense. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there is fingernails on this. Just makes no sense. It shouldn't be that way. So I just have to point that out. It might be a better look right here. I don't know if you can really see that, but definitely fingernails on there. Shouldn't be there. Alright, so there's Jiren with the open hands. I think it looks pretty cool. It looks like he is receiving some kind of power or something. I don't know. But it looks nice. You could put something in his hand if you want. You could place it there. You can also extend his hand out to make it look like he's doing like a ki blast. Yeah, looks great. I cannot complain on that. Looks really, really good. I like how they give you two different sets of hands so you can pose them with whatever you want. It gives you a choice. And alright, so now I would like to show you how tall the figure is. So he looks like he's about 7 inches. Pretty much almost 7 inches, I would say. I don't know if you can really see that, but he is right around 7, almost 7. So bigger than the usual Dragon Stars. Well, it makes sense because Jiren is tall and big. Alright guys, so that's it pretty much for the Dragon Stars Jiren. I definitely like the Dragon Stars figures. This Jiren, you know, it's good, but there are other figures in the Dragon Star series that is better than this Jiren. I kind of wish they went with a different, like, look on his face. Maybe a more, like, sinister look. I don't know, I just think his expression looks very, like, dull-ish. But he does look pretty cool in this pose, I would say. I definitely think he looks awesome like this, with his fist out, you know, looking right at you, like he's like, fuck you, asshole. I don't know. I love that look. But overall, I recommend the Dragon Stars. I would pick up the Jiren, why not? They're only 20 bucks, you know? You can get them at Walgreens, you get them at GameStop, you can get them on Amazon, so yeah, there's no excuse why not to get him. He's great. Dragon Stars figures are great. Like I said, the only complaints would be some of the joints. They would get really loose, they can pop off easy, and maybe on the Jiren, maybe his expression's a little too simple, but it still looks good, you know? It's like a little nitpick thing. I think it's a good one anyway. You know, let me know if you guys have this Jiren as well. Do you like it? Do you enjoy the Dragon Stars? I think it's a great alternative to the SH Figuarts that are obviously, you know, a bit higher quality, but they're a lot more expensive. And if you're on a budget, Dragon Stars are perfect for you. I even recommend them when you're starting a collection. And also guys, make sure you watch our other collab review on the Dragon Stars Golden Frieza on Spike Reviews channel. I will put it in the description. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my review on the Dragon Stars Jiren. Now I'm going to hand it over to Spike Reviews so he can give his opinion on this awesome figure.
Hi, I'm Spike from Spike Reviews, and this is my portion of the review. Alright, here we go. Thanks Goshen for the very speedy delivery. Did you learn instant transmission or something? I'm not going to question it. Let's just get to the nitty gritty of this review. So, the Dragon Star series Jiren was my very first Dragon Star series figure ever. I saw this in a pamphlet at GameStop when I went to go pick up something else, and it was up for pre-order, so I got it. Though, when I did get it, like a month later, I thought it was going to be a statue. That's why I pre-ordered it. But upon receiving it and taking it home and looking at it a bit more, I was kind of excited because I didn't know they made Dragon Ball Super action figures. I've had a few by Irwin from way back in the day. So to see like a revamped version of an action figure by Dragon Ball was really, really cool. I was also excited and kind of curious because they have these like separate body parts right here. Like this one has Super Saiyan Kale's head right there, which just shows you in the back if you collect all of these in the series, you can eventually get enough body parts to build your own Super Saiyan Kale. So essentially it's like buy 6, get 1 free because you end up getting a 7th figure when it's all said and done. So that's kind of cool. But you have to keep in mind that, for example, at the time of buying this one, I believe it cost me around $23 for this one Jiren figure. So just multiply that times 6 and you get the total amount of money you have to spend to make your Super Saiyan Kale. If you have the money, go for it, but it's not for everybody, for sure. So I've never actually opened one of these, so I'm pretty excited to see what they're all about, to see the build quality, because SH Figuarts, they're a lot more expensive, but they're very well made and they're very pliable and you can do so much with them. So I'm kind of curious if this is kind of like a low budget SH Figuarts figure. Since they are about $60 cheaper, sometimes $40 depending on what character you're getting. So these are significantly cheaper than SH Figuarts, so I'm guessing that the quality might lack a little bit, but who knows, maybe I'll be surprised. Hopefully I am. So here's hoping to the bright side of things. So first of all, I'm going to take out Super Saiyan Kale's head just to see what that's all about. Look at that. Build quality is pretty nice. Feels a little rubbery. Nothing to really complain about though. The inserts kind of look like Figuarts figures a little bit, but definitely on a budget. It doesn't feel as well made, but so far no complaints for $23. Now let's get to the meat and potato of the things. Jesus. I will say, kind of hard to get out of the packaging. Might have ruined the packaging. It does come with 2 little hands as well. You see right there. So that's cool. It's gonna go from fist to open hand. I will say if you're an inbox collector, do not take any of these figures out because it's really hard to get out of the plastic inside, and you're most likely going to ruin it. And unless you like really dent the plastic back in, that's the only way you might be able to get these figures back in, but it's never going to be the same. So just be cautious of that. If you're an inbox collector, the inside plastic's just going to be ruined. Okay guys, here he is, JIREN the Gray in all his glory. It's kind of a weird pose. Ha ha ha. Look at me, it's like a Mr. Satan pose. It looks like everything is posable, from his feet to his knees to his hips. Everything flexes. Rotator cuff, shoulder, his biceps, his forearms right here, and his hands, neck, everything is posable. So that's kind of cool. In that aspect, it's like a figure arts figure for sure. I bet I could pop off his head. I'm not going to try though, because I'm not 100% sure. It kind of reminds me of those luchadores that I used to get when I was a kid. Those little Mexican action figures for wrestlers, because his whole torso just spins around, which is kind of weird. I've always found that weird on action figures, but kind of cool at the same time. Build quality for sure is a lot cheaper than SH Figure Arts, but I mean, what do you expect for $23 versus the $50-$60 that a Figure Arts would cost? Another thing that you'll notice when you pick one of these up is that the paint job will not be the best as well. His knee right here is kind of scuffed a little bit, having never been out of the package. That's straight from the factory. So the paint job isn't that great. It's more of a matte finish with a little bit of gloss, kind of like a glossy coat to the paint. But there are some imperfections for sure, which was to be expected at this price point, to be honest. Now another thing I really noticed just by playing around with him for the past like 2-3 minutes now, maybe less, is that it feels like the more you mess with him, the more you bend his appendages, it seems to have been getting a lot more loose, like really fast. You would think that action figures have a little bit of a longer limb life, if I were to put it that way. His arms are still pretty tight. They still have some give to them, but his legs right here are so flimsy, like really flimsy. His knee, look at this, almost no effort to bend, whereas the arm, you really have to grab it and pull to put him in a different pose. But the legs are super flimsy, so I don't see you being able to stand this figure up anywhere unless you have some kind of stand or attachment to it, because look, whoa, there you go. It's a struggle though, so that was by luck. Yeah, now let's try to attach his new arms. So let's see how easy of a process that is. Let's just, it's pretty easy. They just pop off. Has a little nub right there. Arr, matey, arr. Let's put on his new hands. Shit. Make sure I got the right with the right hand and the left with the left, so he doesn't look really weird. So I will say, attaching the arms is no easy task. You really have to put some force into them. It's a lot easier to pop them off for sure. Look how easily that popped off. But to attach a hand, that's a whole different story. You really have to grab his forearm and just dig in there in order for the hand to pop in. So if you're gonna change the hands out, be warned, you're gonna have to apply some pressure, some good amount of pressure to put the hands in. To pop the hands out is a whole different story. They popped out with relative ease, so that's not an issue there. Overall on pose and structure and how accurate it is to the actual character, I'd say they did a really good job when it comes to that. The color scheme's okay. There are some imperfections. The ability to change the hands out is nice at the price point, because you're paying $23 for something that you can do on an SH Figure Arts, which is a lot more expensive. So for the price point, it's a good deal if you're looking for a cheaper alternative. It is flimsy, so it's gonna lose points for the flimsiness on my part, because I really don't like that. That's something I don't like about action figures. Torso up, solid. Torso down, flimsy. Look at this. So overall, I'm going to have to give the Dragon Star series JIREN a 7 out of 10. I knocked off points for the paint job, just the flimsiness overall, and just how damaged the package gets when you get these figures out of their boxes. And Usually I like to put them back in the box, but I don't know about this one. Now where it won me over is that it stays true to the JIREN character. It's pretty spot on when it comes to design. At the $23 price point, it's kind of cool to have interchangeable arms, and overall it's pretty solid, so 7 out of 10 seems fair, especially when you're comparing it to something like a $60 SH Figure Arts figure like this one. So if you're on a budget, definitely go for the Dragon Star series. If you have a little bit more coin, then I would go with the SH Figure Arts series for sure, but this is a good figure. Well, that's been my portion of the review. Peace out, Goshen Force, and remember, keep breaking limits every single day. Peace.
Hey, it's Pan from Dragon Ball GT, and you're watching my good friend SSJ Goshen 4. Yeah!